you something. I'm sure most of you are up all night, but I'm from Las Vegas, and we're 3 hours behind, so at this point it's 5 in the morning, and of course we got up at 3 in the morning. And in our rooms are bottles of water, and it dawned on me, here we're supposed to stay hydrated, all of us. The bottles of water in your rooms are $10. What's wonderful is to be asked to join this group and be up here at the podium and dais, free. So I might try to auction. Anyway, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here at the Mayors and Business Leaders Breakfast. I am Mayor Carolyn Goodman of Las Vegas and chairman of the Mayor's Business Council. Before I go into the script, I just want to say something that yesterday I had learned that our Republican senator from Nevada had moved closer to working with our Democratic senator from Nevada, and it really is an indication to all of us to put down all the anger and disappointment and really start to pull together as one, as President Clinton inferred yesterday. And so I'm really thrilled. And that was Senator Dean Heller, Republican, Nevada, and Senator Cortez Masto, Democrat from Nevada. So if it's possible in Nevada, it's possible anywhere. So I encourage us all to get together and really build this country back where it needs to be. So to get us started this morning, I'd like to acknowledge and thank our sponsors of this morning's breakfast. And you'll note on the tables, Herbalife Nutrition, also sponsoring us, Outfront Media, Planned Parenthood Action Fund, and wonderful Wells Fargo. I'd like to introduce, well, that's even better, thank you. We have somebody that knows to clap. Thank you, our sponsors. And it is a beautiful breakfast, I must say. But it's my great honor to introduce Dr. John Aguanobi, Chief Health and Nutrition Officer and Senior Vice President. Before joining Herbalife, Dr. Aguanobi served as Florida's Secretary of Health, the Assistant Secretary of Health in the Bush administration, and a Senior Vice President at Walmart in charge of their Health and Wellness unit. He also holds the rank of 4-star Admiral in the U.S. Public Health Commission Corps. So please welcome Dr. Aguanobi.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I'm honored to be here. I also recognize it's awfully early. And given the party atmosphere that was in the room to my left and to my right last night, I will save you all from a long-winded speech and try to keep it short and to the point. Public-private partnerships work. And that is, when all is said and done, the point. I work for a company that's based out of Los Angeles called Herbalife Nutrition, and I've been there for a year and a half, and I've come to learn that it's a company that has, since 1980, dedicated itself to improving the health and nutrition of its customers. And the reason that's compelling to me is because I spent my entire career working in public health at the state and at the federal level. At the state level, as was mentioned, right here in Florida, I was the Secretary of Health based out of Tallahassee. Following that, I was an admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service and worked out of Washington, D.C. with the federal government and the Department of Health and Human Services. And in those settings, I came to realize that nutrition is critical to the health and the well-being of a community. As mayors and leaders, you recognize, I know, that working in those neighborhoods where there are food deserts, working in those neighborhoods where there are people struggling to make ends meet, struggling to put healthy food on their tables, it's critically important to leverage all of the resources that you have around you. And that's the core message for today. In my current role, I'm responsible for a couple of things: education, training, science, product development. But more importantly, relevant to today, I'm responsible for making sure that ours is a company that feels that community support is a part of its purpose. Our purpose of making the world healthier and happier relates directly to the work that you do in your communities. Our role is to try to have every single one of our independent distributors, and we have quite a few, I'll talk about that in a second, to have them be soldiers in your army as you work to make your community healthier and happier. An example, in Jalisco, Mexico, a state just south of where we are in California, we have what's called nutrition clubs, 3,000 of them. And we worked with the state government there to use our footprint as a way to educate people on public health, on community health, good nutrition, fitness, water hygiene, and a number of other messages that were critical to the government. We're doing the same with things like diabetes and hypertension in Indonesia as we speak. Our goal today is to begin a journey of bringing those services, that support, to cities here in the U.S. We hope to partner with all of you in lending a hand as you try to improve the health and the wellness of those who live in your communities. Now, with our 295,000 Herbalife distributors in the U.S., our 8,000 nutrition clubs in the U.S., my hope is you'll see that there's an opportunity to leverage. By the way, we have 22,000 distributors just here in Miami. Folks that are eager to join their government in spreading the news of health, of wellness, and of nutrition. Weight management and the obesity epidemic are real issues. But when all is said and done, there are lots of other public health messages that are important as well. Smoking, the need to live a fit life, the need to avoid risk, the need to eat healthy are all important messages that our distributors would love to join you in delivering in your community. I have a number of colleagues here who would love to visit with many of you after the proceedings today. And with that, I'll just say, listen, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all that you do every day to protect my family, to look after our communities. And I hope that we can join you in the fight to make our communities healthier and happier. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I think about that every day as I get up each morning and think about what I look like and how trim and wonderful you are. And of course, I was on Mayor Steve Benjamin a year ago, and he is looking so trim. It must be because of Herbalife. So anyway, at this point, is it not true? Yes, of course it's true. So anyway, never trust anybody. I'd like to welcome our most fabulous, outstanding, colorful, creative, ever going on and on like a battery, Tom Cochran, the CEO and Executive Director of our wonderful U.S. Conference of Mayors. Thank you, Tom, for everything that you do, and you are a kick in the pants. You make everybody laugh. You make us all have a wonderful time, and we just love you. So please, come on up. And I'm so glad we're in red together.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm just here to remind you of what Mayor Levine has told us, that what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, and what happens in Miami Beach did not happen. So, thank you, Business Council. You're the greatest. We continue to have an incredible relationship. I want to just mention 2 or 3 things. We started with this administration hearing about infrastructure, and we had President Trump. We met with him on the 15th of December, and the Vice President came, as you know, at the winter meeting, and said it was going to be big. Infrastructure going to be big. We had a summit on June 8th in the White House, and yesterday we had DJ Griffin here from the White House, sent down by President Trump, and we're very lucky to have Mayor Garcetti from Los Angeles, who's chairing our infrastructure task force. And there's 2 issues. One is the president is going towards what I call market-driven infrastructure program, and then Senator Schumer is going towards more public funding. And we got to make sure that we have a balanced program, because recovering cities like Dayton, South Bend, Flint, places like that, we got to make sure that their infrastructure money gets to them. It's not just for the richer cities, the wherewithal cities that have it. So we got to have a balanced program, and it's looking pretty good up in the Dakotas, South and North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, had a hearing. Senator from Montana said to the Trump official, you know, these shiny objects are great. It's nice to have these little Hoover dams and toll roads. But he said, you know, I got 6-to-1 cows in my state, and cows don't pay toll roads. So we've got to make sure that the bridges have to be painted and maintained, and so we're working very hard, Mayor Goodman, to make sure that we have a balanced program. Today, we have, thanks to the other Mayor Goodman is here, who helped me so much in the very early days of the Business Council, Oscar. We have 125 members of the Business Council. We want to thank you so much for being active with us. And we have a distinct group of members that are being shown and being displayed somewhere as I talk, I've been told. There are 19 new Business Council members that have joined us since our winter meeting in January. We have 13 platinum partners who provide substantial underlying support, and 32 companies who have been with us for 10 years. So let's give a round of applause, please, for all of it. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we decided to report a best practices, Mayor's Business Council best practice report. I'm glad to present it to this year. 32 members contributed to support. This is the best of the best. These are examples of how business groups, businesses and mayors are working together in cities across America. So this is great for our best practices, and we appreciate very much the support, and very glad that we are continuing to do that. It'll be mailed to 1,400 mayors. By the way, since January, I wake up in the morning and write, and I've been sending a special email daily, U.S. mayor to everyone, to 1,400 mayors, trying to keep you informed. And so we will continue to do that. And I added to the list when we started this, we added all the Business Council members too. So we're trying to keep you in touch. We have co-chairs that help us very much, and I'd like to call Kimberly Pasquale, HEDR Senior Project Engineer and co-chair of the Mayor's Business Council Steering Committee, up for a few remarks. Kimberly? There you are.
Thank you so much.
Yes, go right ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Tom. Good morning. I'd like to start by acknowledging my co-chair, Jean Cantrell of Phillips. She's been such a pleasure to work with. She's so dedicated to the Business Council, as many of you know, and it's truly been a pleasure and honor to serve with her. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our new Business Council Steering Committee, as well as our new co-chair. I also must mention a former co-chair, my boss and dear friend, Mr. David Cobb of HDR. Can our HDR team stand? Will you please stand? Thank you. We'll take some applause. HDR just celebrated our 100-year anniversary, and we really couldn't have done it without partnering with mayors like you. We're passionate about the projects that we're involved in. I personally am passionate about Mayor Garcetti's Safe Sidewalks LA program, and it's just one of many that we're so thrilled about at HDR. So thank you, mayors, for the work that you do serving our communities, and HDR looks forward to what's in store for the next 100 years. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your conference.
Gene Cantrell, the head of state and local government relations for Phillips, who's been with us for a long time, has served on this business council since 2012, and we're sad to say this is her last year. So I'd like to call up Gene for a few remarks. Gene?
He means I'm done, so I am done. That's what he means, last year. But I'm not done yet. I've got a microphone in front of me. No. I'd like to make a shameless plug. You know I'm with Phillips Lighting, and I'll tell you we're thrilled to have been here. This is our 5th year of a platinum partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And this is the first chance we have at this meeting to present a forum. So I would invite all of you to join us right after this breakfast for Imagining Future Cities Today. And we have on our panel Mayor Pugh of Baltimore City, Mayor Hancock of Denver, and Mayor Walsh of Boston. So fleur-de-lis room, downstairs lower level. So if I was going to entitle my very, very, very brief remarks, I would call it Greetings and Gratitude. Greetings to all of you Business Council members who have come here after 2 fabulous nights of festivities. I applaud you for making it here this morning. And a special greeting to the 19 new organizations who have joined our ranks since our last meeting. We welcome you. And yes. And also greetings to the mayors. We really support you being here with us because it shows by your very presence how much you support us. And that doesn't go unnoticed by those of us in the business community. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So for gratitude, I'd like to just mention 3 small things. First, the opportunity to serve has been a tremendous pleasure for me, and also it has afforded me an opportunity to meet many people that I may not have been able to meet otherwise. And hats off to my co-chair, Kimberly Schultz Pasquale, just got married. She has been the sublime delight to work with. Second, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Mayor Palmer, former co-chair. He was, in fact, you probably know this, the brainchild behind the Best Practices Report. So we thank him for that. And also, mayors, there are very instructive things in that Best Practices Report, and they're worthy of your attention. I hope you will take a look. And finally, I want to thank the U.S. Conference of Mayors staff. We, the Business Council, have the best of the best in staff, Miss Jerry Powell and Miss Judy Reed, who serve us on a daily basis. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the privilege of serving along my home state mayor, Mayor Cornett, who I hope soon to call Governor Cornett. Yes. And also, I thought of this, I thought it was really cool. I said, I want to thank Mayor Goodman for her work on the Business Council because, as we all know, she is the queen of fun. So thank you, Mayor Goodman, and thank you all, and I really appreciate the opportunity to serve.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Wait, don't go away for 1 second. Are you going to say something, or may I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Don't go away, Gene, just for a sec. 6 years ago, my first U.S. Conference of Mayors, having attended the Phillips presentation, went back to Las Vegas, and I want you to know we are 100% in Las Vegas renewable energy, but it's because we have replaced every single light with LED lighting, and it all started by, we have a lot of lights. And yes, it's all for you, and I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tom, back to you.
Yes,
Thank
well,
you so much.
We'd like to, I think, present a plaque to Jeannie. That's that free water here. Oh, just the wrong one.
It's really a big diamond ring. You can't find it down here, but I know that's what it is.
This is Mayor Richard Berry's plaque from Albuquerque. He may have yours, so good luck. No, seriously, thank you.
His is going to be worth a lot more than mine. So.
No, listen, you know, there are all kinds of business council members, and you all are very special, but Jean is, she's very political. She, is that yours?
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for helping me find that. She also, she's done Broadway, she's toured, and you didn't know that, Ms. Goodman. And she also is very involved in presidential debates and was very helpful, Mayor Goodman, when we had the debate in Vegas to get us tickets and have the conference of mayors there. So we thank you so much, and thank you for your service to this organization. And I will not give you Mayor Berry's plaque. I'll give you this one. This got your name on it. Let's get our picture, Mayor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I feel like a candy cane here. Look at this. Look at us.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's all about
Now we're a chocolate candy cane.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Berry's plaque. I mean, let's get the wrong plaque. I think it's all I had, right?
Is that it?
Yeah. I just also, we have, I've had about 48 presidents, but I want to thank Mayor Cornett for his leadership, of course, but also because he understands business, and he's been very supportive of our corporate sponsors and understanding. It's very important for our new president and everyone to understand just how important the business groups are in the Business Council. And we need to have a strong president that believes in a strong business council, and he's been one that we really appreciate very much. Thank you, and we'll see you around the campus.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom and Jean. And Tom, when you talked about infrastructure and that this administration's going to be funding so much, we hope, of infrastructure, because we live in Nevada and there's this urge to go ahead and transport radioactive material from all over the country to different states. The infrastructure of this country is rated by civil engineers at a D-. And so tunnels, bridges, roads, railroad, it goes on, and this radioactive material is going to be passing through your cities and communities. And I want you to be very, very aware of the condition before that transportation takes place. And the urge should be for deactivating the radioactive material, repurposing it, and going into research. So the infrastructure comment is critical to what's happening in your cities. You need to look at the maps, because we will not be told at what hour, how often, or when that transport of radioactive materials will take place. So, back to the script. Sorry, folks. We are just so grateful. Jean, these years, I hope it's not the end. That must have been a typo, that you will be not serving on the Mayor's Business Council. And thank you for all that you've been doing. And we look forward to working with Kimberly, newly elected co-chair, Amy Curran, and all the steering committee members in the coming year. And now it's my pleasure to begin our 2017 National Education Pathways with a Purpose grant awards program. These grants recognize and expand creative initiatives that mayors have developed in their cities to advance both college and career readiness and college completion. An independent panel of judges selected 3 winners. They picked 1 from large-sized city, 1 from a medium-sized city, and 1 from a smaller-sized city. And as you can imagine, for anybody doing any judging, it's a very challenging and competitive process. The judges were looking for communities fostering relationships between educational programs, both K through 12 and at the college level, and employers to promote college preparedness and long-term career success. These 3 winners, mayors, have established programs in their cities that provide educational pathways with the purpose of completion and then entry into the workplace. Please join me in thanking Strata Education Network for their support of the Grant Awards program. So please, if you will, thank them. And I would like to invite the lovely Stephanie Nellens-Page, Vice President of the National Engagement at Strata Education Network, to come to the podium to present our awards. Please.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman, for the introduction, and thank you, U.S. Conference of Mayors, for having me here this weekend on behalf of Strata, even though I think I would have been here, period, even if it weren't on behalf of Strata. It's a wonderful place, and I've enjoyed myself immensely. As many of you know, Strata Education was formerly USA Funds, until earlier this year when we exited our previous business to shift our focus fully on our mission of completion with a purpose, building better paths for students to and through post-secondary education and on to rewarding careers and fulfilling lives. At Strata Education, we believe that providing support to all learners, whether they're youth or adults, looking to gain new skills for new opportunity, is critical to living a life that is stable, balanced, and most of all, happy. We know that mayors and their teams are critical partners to ensuring the needs of those students and that they are met. For 3 years now, we've been proud to partner with the U.S. Conference of Mayors to promote and support the great work that you all are doing in your cities across the nation to improve the education to employment pipeline for your youth and other citizens. So we applaud the work you all continue to do to improve communities, opportunities in your local communities, and we look forward for many years of continued partnership between our organization and the cities. I am now honored to present the 3 cities with grants in recognition of the outstanding work being done in our cities to support innovative programs that prepare students for college and careers. This past January, we announced the start of the 2017 initiative and received over 75 applications highlighting many successful programs across the United States. A panel of 6 independent judges convened to review the finalists and chose 1 city winner from each of the 3 categories: large, medium, and small. I want to thank all the mayors from across the country who applied. Your commitment to this critical issue is appreciated, and it is necessary that we continue our great work. The 2018 initiative will be announced at the 86th Annual Winter Meeting, Mayor Counts. It's going to be announced at the annual meeting, so you can apply then. And so mark your calendars, everyone, so that did not apply, and you can apply in January after the winter meeting. Okay, let's get this party started. The 2017 National Education Pathways with the Purpose Initiative Small City winner is West Sacramento. Yes. West Sacramento, California Mayor Christopher Cabaldon, we are recognizing him for his Kids Home Run program. Mayor Cabaldon has been a champion for high-quality education for the children of his city since the beginning of his tenure as mayor in 2004. Kids Home Run was established in 2016 as a Cradle to Career initiative that would see the youth of West Sacramento all the way through schooling and on to successful careers. The program is comprised of several education initiatives spearheaded by Mayor Cabaldon since the beginning of his mayorship, such as the UP4WS, focused on improving preschool for the children of West Sacramento, and Future Ready, geared toward preparing high school students for post-secondary education. The Kids Run Home initiative, innovative programs and techniques have led to several students receiving quality job training in their specified field of choice, making connections to potential employers and receiving grant-subsidized paid internships that lead to bright futures in the workforce. Please help me in congratulating Mayor Cabaldon. We will now show a brief video highlighting Mayor Cabaldon's award-winning program. Video, please.
West Sacramento is one of those unique places in the country where it's like a small town vibe where everybody knows each other, but we're right at the heart of the metropolitan area. So all the advantages of urban living, all the excitement, all the culture, but also a place where you know every single other person in the town and you share a sense of close-knit connection and values.
Well, the Kids Home Run, as you know, is an initiative by our mayor to really raise the bar in terms of education in this community. As a city manager here and recruiting companies to West Sacramento, education in the schools are often an issue, a hurdle for us to overcome. Kids Home Run raises the bar and it takes that issue of the first 2 years of college and the cost of that, takes that away. So the aspirations of a kid can look to college, and where the family may say we couldn't afford it in the past, with Kids Home Run, it's an opportunity for you now.
Voters last November passed a sales tax initiative, which is going to make this possible and give us a sustainable funding stream. But it's through grants like the one that Strata Education is providing us through the Pathways with a Purpose grant that we're really able to bring more visibility to our work, find more partners and more funders, so we can give more opportunities to more young people in our community.
Yeah, this is a great foundation to start building skills, building lifelong networks, and the typical internship stigma where you get coffee for your bosses is definitely not what goes on here. You do some real hard work. This is a great opportunity for you to learn skills that you can take throughout your life and career and beyond.
So they just like my attitude and my drive and the passion that I had over the Summer Steps internship, and they wanted me to stay for the next steps. And then after the next steps, they said once I continue my college education, I have my internship throughout college, I could potentially have a job there if I want to stay.
The Kids Home Run program is working out really well for us. We were able to get a kid in here last year, and we have some more kids coming in this year. And we put them with our professionals and train them and teach them, and they become productive. And the kids learn how the theories and things they've learned in school applies to real world, and they figure out how they might fit into that world, which is extremely valuable at that age.
So the goal of the Kids Home Run fundamentally is simple. We want to be the very best city in America to raise a family. For young people, this is the best city in America to grow up. For companies that are growing or moving or expanding or just starting up, we want to be the best place to find exactly the talent that you need to prosper. And one of the most exciting things is to see that the city can make a difference not just in land use and zoning and in sewers and potholes, but really in the lives of our people too.
I'd like to have Mayor Benjamin and Mayor Counts, and also our CEO, Tom Cochran, help me present. Thank you. Congratulations again. The 2017 National Education Pathways with a Purpose Initiative for Medium City winner is Birmingham, Alabama. Mayor William Bell. Yes. So we thank you, Mayor Bell, for this innovative Birmingham program. Innovate Birmingham was created in 2016 in response to the city's designation as a tech hire city by the White House in 2015 and the rapid growth of the IT job demand in Birmingham. The program represents a close collaboration between Mayor Bell, local universities, and employers to train local youth to meet the growing demand in the IT field and obtain successful jobs working in computer science and software engineering. Under Mayor Bell's leadership, Innovative Birmingham provides local citizens, primarily disadvantaged youth, with the tools necessary to receive high-quality job training and gain opportunities for employment in high-performing jobs, creating a talented young workforce and, in turn, making Birmingham an appealing location for new businesses. Congratulations, Mayor Bell, on your grant award and the successful program that you're operating. We will now show a brief video highlighting Mayor Bell's award-winning program.
Birmingham is a city that's known for its civil rights history. Out of that conflict arose a respect for the heritage that we have in this community, and it's led to collaboration.
We started out Innovate Birmingham, bringing together an incredibly talented but underemployed and undertrained workforce in Birmingham with employers who are posting the second fastest IT job rate in the country.
We found out that there were over 1,500 jobs on average each year that go unfilled because they're not trained personnel, that we could take those individuals that have been underserved educationally, give them the skills to fill those 1,500 jobs that are out there, and we would not only satisfy the need of the business community, but we would satisfy the needs of the individual.
From our students have college degrees, couldn't find employment, they're underemployed. Some are completely unemployed. They didn't have the finances to finish college.
I was in a place that made me feel like my options were very few. And this program opened up so many doors for me.
If this program hadn't come around, I would probably still be working at a dead-end job.
The training and education that these young people are getting can change the entire fortune of their family. It allows them to get skills that they never thought that they could get.
It's very fast-paced, but it's only because we only have 12 weeks to learn a lot of information here.
We are increasing the network of employers that we have access to.
And so not only are they building a network with our partners, but they're building a network with their peers as well.
We graduated our first cohort of Innovate Birmingham participants May 5th and have almost all of them already employed in the IT field in Birmingham right now.
The mayor and everyone down to my immediate team members believed in me and had enough hope and faith in the young people in the city and the tech economy here to give us what we needed to bridge that gap and make this city better. And I could not be more grateful.
This program is just gonna help me a lot with succeeding towards what I want to be in life. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, congratulations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, now we're down to our last, but certainly not least, final award, the 2017 National Education Pathways with a Purpose Initiative for Large City winner is Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mayor Richard Berry for his Running Start Career Initiative. Mayor Berry has long been an active advocate for college and career readiness initiatives. During his tenure as a member of the New Mexico House of Representatives, Mayor Berry laid the groundwork for Running Start for Careers in 2009 and launched the initiative as mayor in 2011. I love that continuity. Running Start is a public-private multi-partner initiative that represents a strong and enduring collaboration between education systems and employers to address college preparation and long-term career success. The program also focuses specifically on aiding the disadvantaged and works to actively close the gap between low-income youth and their more privileged peers by offering students access to high-quality career technical training programs that also serve as a dual credit for high school and college courses. Mayor Berry's leadership has been paramount to the success of the program, and his passionate advocacy for this initiative has been a shining example of mayoral dedication to ensuring success for the youth of the city. Congratulations, Mayor Berry. Now we'd like to show you a brief video highlighting Mayor Berry's award-winning program.
Well, Albuquerque is a very ancient place. We have these ancient cultures here, but we also have more science and technology than almost any place. But at the end of the day, it's the people. It's this beautiful landscape that we live in, but the people in Albuquerque, if you ask them to give you a chance, they will give you a chance, and that's what Running Start is all about. When you meet a young person, and that young person maybe hasn't had as many doors open for them as some of us have in our lives, and you see a door open for them, in this case, Running Start for Careers, and they can look through that door and they can see their future, and they can get a bead on why they need to go to school, and they start understanding the mechanical nature of studying, but that this is actually their future, it is amazing. And their eyes light up, and you can see that light bulb go on, and you just feel like you've done something good for a kid.
This is an incredible success story. Running Start for Careers is a dual credit program that allows students who are still in high school to get college credit for courses that they're taking that lead to their job. 98% of them graduate from high school. 83% of them come on to college after they've finished. I think one of the really wonderful things about Running Start for Careers is it meets the vision of the mayor. It also meets the vision of this college that is totally focused on getting students in, through, and out in order to be able to make a difference in our community.
During the classes, they give you the opportunity to work on resumes, and you get to take like one-on-one interviews to see how well you would interact and what you need to work on to get a good job. They're amazing, and that they have no clue how much this actually changed my life. I have 2 kids, and so I'm able to actually do much more now for them financially and emotionally than I was able before. I work 60 hours a week, and it wasn't getting me anywhere, and so now being able to work 30 hours, it helps me a lot.
Now this is exciting. It's exciting for Running Start for Careers and Albuquerque. But I have to say, without the mayor's leadership and commitment, this program wouldn't have been nearly as successful as it has been. From his initial efforts when he was in the state legislature in 2009 to create this framework, to then carry it forward throughout his tenure here as mayor, has given Albuquerque a true pathway for progress. And I personally try to interact with them as often as I can throughout their internship and just enjoy each and every day of watching them progress in their own careers.
If somebody who's been successful in business can now reach back and help the next kid in line through curriculum and help that student navigate through high school and get a running start on their career at the same time, it's amazing. And then the benefit of that is that they are actually building their workforce. So it's about going to high school, it's about striving to be a good student, it's about workforce development, it's about businesses reaching back and helping the next person in line. And that's why I think it's caught the imagination of our community, and I think it works here just like it'll work anywhere in the country that you give it a try.
Mayor Barry. $100,000. What was that? What's that you got? Oh, okay. Okay, let me mind my business. Well, I would like to congratulate all 3 mayors on the success of their programs and on their award this morning. In closing, I'd like to announce that there will be a best practice forum immediately following this plenary breakfast at 9:15 in Flicker, I always think of the dolphin, Flicker room on the 4th floor, where we will hear an in-depth presentation from all 3 winners on their programs. I invite all of you to join me as these dynamic mayors talk about the transformative college and career readiness work they're doing in their cities. Thank you, and congratulations again, mayors.
Thank you, Stephanie. You're the best. Oh my gosh, thanks, honey. Appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Stephanie, and congratulations to the winners. You really have some fabulous programs, and we all know as mayors we have the same issues. We know education is the pathway to a chance to a better life for all of us, and we have to stop the pathway from school to prison. That's the most important piece. So I'm very much behind that, and I love the money. I mean, these aren't trickle-down little dollars. This is big stuff. So anyway, thank you again, Stephanie, and most exciting. One thing that we failed to do, and it's my fault, I ran through this so quickly. Amy Curran, are you here? Where are you? Would you stand up? Where are you? How come you're so far away? All right, everybody see her right back there. She is our new co-chair, CGI Communications Marketing Executive, Amy Curran, and the newly elected steering committee serving with her, Victor Bonet of Amazon, Tracy Hester of Target, Nancy McLeeman, AARP, and Tim Woodbury of Acela. Thank you all for being on the committee. We appreciate it. Thank you, Amy, and my apologies. Okay, as you all know, cities are increasingly seen as centers of innovation both globally and around the United States. Mayors' creativity is sparking a surge in the growth of small businesses and the revitalization of downtown areas. This morning, we have a great opportunity to hear from a panel, each of whom will be discussing just how metro areas are taking the lead in economic growth. The panel will be discussing innovation districts and the new economy. And so you're very lucky, because on our panel this morning, we have Greg Fisher, the mayor of the great city of Louisville. A little applause. Who is chair of the Council on Metro Economics and the New American City. We have our president, a little more applause, Mayor Mick Cornett of the great city of Oklahoma City, and Bruce Katz, a centennial scholar at the Brookings Institute, whose work focuses on the potential of metropolitan areas as areas of innovation and economic growth. So panel, how come there are only 2 seats? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks, Mayor Goodman. I'm going to introduce our concept, and then our panelists will come up here. So I'm Greg Fisher, Mayor of Louisville, and I'm excited to report on the results of this past year's work. So over the last year, the conference's Council on Metro Economies, the New American City, collaborated with the Brookings Institution to explore the development of innovation districts within cities. And together, we formed a working group on innovation and placemaking to spearhead this effort. So why are innovation districts so important? The job we have as mayors can be looked at in 3 buckets, at least that's how we do it. Daily work, continuous improvement work, and innovation work. And I'm a big believer in innovation. I saw it work in business during my 30-year career, and it certainly works in government as well. And it's essential because our economy, and with it, our rapidly changing society, is being reshaped daily, it seems like, through science, technology, automation, and innovation. How we communicate, how we shop, how we do our work, and how we get from place to place. All of these are changing, and they're going to continue to change in ways that alter our economic landscape, how we relate to each other, and how we create jobs of the future. And in this new economy, it's going to affect everybody in our cities of all sizes across the nation. Innovation districts are tailor-made for cities because our cities are homes to many of our most valuable assets, clusters of urban anchor institutions and companies that foster and benefit from the growing collaborative nature of innovation. At the same time, cities possess the natural attributes of walkability, culturally rich areas that talented workers value and demand as places to live, work, and play. And importantly, cities provide better geographic access to job centers that many sprawling suburban areas just can't compete with. So when these dynamics merge into a single strategy, like an innovation district, the result can change the nature of a city's economy, its dynamics, and its trajectory. So our working group, our mission was to explore the rise of innovation districts across America. And these are small geographic areas within cities where research universities, medical institutions, and companies cluster and connect with startups, accelerators, and incubators. Our first stop in October 2016 was to go to Pittsburgh, so thanks to Mayor Bill Peduto. We had about 50 people from cities all across America on both of our trips. In Pittsburgh, we observed how the fast-growing innovation economy is organizing around districts. Then in April 2017, the working group traveled to St. Louis to learn more about the Cortex Innovation Community and Innovation District in the city's heart. Thanks to Mayor Slay, he hosted us in his last week as mayor. And then we also met Mayor Lyda Crewson, the new mayor of St. Louis. So the Brookings Institution, led by world-renowned scholar Bruce Katz, author of The Metropolitan Revolution, in collaboration with the Project for Public Spaces, supported the working group as part of the Auntie and Robert M. Bass Initiative on Innovation and Placemaking. Our conference provided advice on the emerging paradigm in practice, illustrating how U.S. cities of varying sizes and economic conditions are applying a district strategy to stimulate fiscal and job growth. The product of this work is in this extraordinary handbook that you have in front of you this morning. We get a lot of written material at our conference. This one is extraordinarily usable for mayors from any size city at any stage of the innovation district continuum. Here's some of the themes. We're witnessing a major shift in American federalism where cities now bear increased responsibilities for economic competitiveness and social inclusion, given the abdication of federal and state governments. In the context of this shift in responsibility, and I'd say an opportunity, cities will be pressed to act with greater deliberation, intentionality, and ingenuity to identify and unlock the economic assets, physical attributes, and accessibility advantages that will drive our city's growth. And of course, U.S. mayors have an instrumental role to play in the evolution of innovation districts, a role that no doubt will evolve over time. We serve as the visionaries, the conveners, the champions, and the catalysts to develop these districts. So to continue this conversation, it's my pleasure to welcome our two speakers. First, our great president, Mick Cornett, who has an extraordinary innovation district in Oklahoma City, and Brookings Institution Centennial Scholar Bruce Katz, who brings extraordinary global insight to this work, and we're a real pleasure to work with Bruce. They will guide us this morning in a deeper discussion around innovation districts. Gentlemen, take it away.
Mayor Fisher, thank you. And let me show a round of applause for Mayor Fisher's work in this area. It's been inspiring to see. And Bruce, thank you for lending your time to the Conference of Mayors. This guy is sought after all over the world, and that he would spend so much time on mayors and cities, I think we have all benefited from it. I can remember about 10 years ago when I was consuming all sorts of information on new trends and things that were going on in other cities. And I would read article after article, and almost every one of them seemed to lend itself to Bruce Katz somewhere along the way. And so I have always been amazed at how you seem to be at the cutting edge of opportunities. And I think this is maybe the best example yet, the Innovation District. Let's define it. We could look up in a book and define it, but I'd like to hear Bruce Katz define what is an Innovation District.
So an Innovation District is a relatively small geography area within a city. It's usually half a square mile or less, where you co-locate your educational institutions, medical campuses with mature companies, startups, scale-ups, intermediaries in an urban environment, walkable, livable, accessible by transit. There's a continuum in the US, as you would think. There are some places like Pittsburgh with Carnegie Mellon or the University of Pittsburgh, And these are really global institutions with basic science that is being commercialized for the market. But then many of your cities here today have state universities that are doing applied research, that are doing technological problem solving with companies. The most important thing to understand is the market now wants proximity and density to create new products and new processes. The days of the science park or the research park located miles away from the downtown, isolated, are not completely over, but close there too. Innovation is collapsing back to the cores of our cities.
If a mayor is trying to look for an innovation district or see an opportunity, what should they look for? What elements are going to be apparent?
I think you want to start with understanding where these anchor institutions are located and where your mature companies and entrepreneurial communities are located. I think what you'll find in most of your cities is they're either in the same geography or very close to each other. And so the first thing to do is just do a spatial audit of what assets you have. And then the real role of mayors at the start is to convene the different stakeholders. It could be the head of your university, your community college, your medical campus, hospital, with some of your companies and startups. Most of these people don't get in the same room together, but if you call them together, they will come.
Yeah.
And that's the start usually of a strategy.
Yeah. So that conversation leads to what? What kind of mayor's convening of this thought process lead to?
Well, the first thing it might lead to, and this is what happens in Chattanooga and other cities, and in Oklahoma City, is the designation of an innovation district. In the past, going back to the early 1990s, we began to designate financial districts all across the world. You would go to Johannesburg or Sao Paulo or Buenos Aires and you would see a financial district. The market wants sort of clarity to how we organize the economy. So the first thing is to actually designate a geography where innovation is happening. It's not fixed borders. A lot of the innovation will flow beyond the borders, but it's critical to understand what your platform is, and then to choose the strategy. In some cities, you need to supercharge innovation. That may be more angel funding, seed funding, venture funding for the entrepreneurial community. In other places where innovation's already happening, it's to connect it to some of the disadvantaged neighborhoods that are literally located a walk or a bike away. And that's something that mayors in particular can have a big effect on.
So the mayor can be the convener, but there are other roles for the city as well, zoning, et cetera.
Our sense is you've got three roles. You can convene, you can champion by really establishing the district and a vision for the district, and then probably most importantly, you can catalyze the district by smart land use and zoning policies and financing policies. In Oklahoma City, having a tax increment financing district that serves the innovation hub and actually has some funding for the adjoining community, I think is a national model right now that other cities can follow. So there are some real powers that mayors and cities have that innovation districts need. So a lot of parts of these districts, we're not seeing mixed use yet or multi-purpose. The medical district in Oklahoma City was started in the 60s as sort of a mono-focused district. All you have are hospitals, no housing, no retail, no restaurants. Zoning changes that, and you can really see the flourishing of these core areas of the city.
One of the things I learned from your toolkit was that these aren't just jobs that require a master's or a doctorate degree. I was surprised at how many entry-level and achievable training jobs are available in these districts too.
So if you look at the STEAM economy, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, which really fuels the U.S. economy and then congregates in these districts, about 57% of the jobs in that economy do not require a four-year degree. They require kids to either get special training out of high school or go to community colleges to get special credentials. So the innovation economy and the inclusion economy are not separate. They're actually inextricably linked. And I think mayors in particular can make those connections in these relatively small geographic areas.
Is there a way to get K through 12 or specifically high schools involved in the district?
Absolutely. What we're seeing happening across the country are the universities and companies are adopting some of the K through 12 schools, creating special STEM or STEAM high schools right in the district. Community colleges are relocating to the districts because they want to be close to where the new jobs are. I think we're seeing a different kind of geography in the U.S. in the past 7 or 10 years. And a lot of investors and global companies like General Electric going into your district in Oklahoma City are beginning to change their thinking about where they locate and where they invest. This is almost going to become an asset class or an investment sector. So if cities across the country create these districts, routinize the metrics, it's going to leverage up your market power.
Transportation issues.
Critical. I think the reason why so many companies want to be in these districts is they want their workers to have the option to get to work by biking, bus, or light rail. And that's what these districts offer. So again, science parks in the past in the U.S. were out of sight, out of mind. Everyone had to basically drive to get there, and generally speaking, it was a long drive because you wanted to keep your secret. Now innovation happens through collaboration across sectors and disciplines, and accessibility of transit and actually internet connections matter a lot.
Yeah, so are there dozens of opportunities out there? Are there hundreds of opportunities? Try and numerize it for us.
I would say in most small and medium-sized cities, you probably have one district where you're congregating these different kinds of innovation assets, whether they're universities, medical campuses, or companies and entrepreneurs. In the large cities and the large metropolitan areas, there may be several. And therein, you have to build them out and then connect them. So innovation districts in the US, I think compared to most of our competitor nations, we will have dozens because we have dispersed our economy to a large extent through our small, medium, and large metropolitan areas. But it's important to focus here because essentially we want to get the full benefits of co-location, the full benefits of density, and the full benefits of collaboration. So if I'm a mayor from a small, medium, or large size city, I would focus on one first, begin to build it out, learn the lessons, and then move it to other places.
Funding opportunities, there's state, there's federal, there's philanthropic opportunities. What nonprofits are interested in this space?
So when we went to St. Louis, what was really quite interesting was how Washington University was using their endowment to basically build out the district and invest in companies with seed and angel funding. And I think the untapped resource in the United States is going to be the balance sheets of these large nonprofits, universities, and medical hospitals and campuses. And that probably is your first stop. And then in most communities across the United States, we're seeing the growth of really entrepreneurial investors. There's an enormous amount of wealth in this country. And they're beginning to look in their own neighborhoods to see, in their home cities, to see the potential for risk capital to spur growth. So I don't think there's a lack of capital, frankly. This is not like the infrastructure conversation that you were having before. We have an abundance of capital in the US. This is about harnessing it and channeling it to particular areas of cities which clearly have enormous growth and entrepreneurial potential.
Which cities might be good role models for someone who is just taking their first step in this direction? And if you could, pick some cities that are not Austin and San Francisco and Boston or even Louisville and Oklahoma City. What cities out there that might be overachieving in this area?
I mean, I am struck by how much Chattanooga has been able to do. Chattanooga does not have a Tier 1 research university like most cities in the United States. They just don't have it. What they have is an anchor institution, the public utility, which invested in high-speed internet for the entire metropolis and in a smart grid. What that enables Chattanooga to do is to attract entrepreneurs, startups, and scale-ups from all over the Southeast to a downtown that is high quality. So quality placemaking, actually, which started back in the 90s and proceeded across multiple mayors, has become a platform with this new high-speed internet for entrepreneurial activity. So they've built the sort of co-working space right near City Hall, and the mayor really has pulled together different stakeholders across the city and metropolis and Oak Ridge National Lab, which is about an hour and a half away, to build out this district. We had mayors from New Bedford, Massachusetts, from West Sacramento, who was honored before. I mean, they're beginning to understand their special niche. In New Bedford, it's marine science, because the University of Massachusetts has a satellite campus focused on that. In West Sacramento, it could be food innovation. So there are multiple opportunities here because of these really profound changes in how the US innovates. It's not Steve Jobs sitting in a garage by himself innovating. It's a collaborative ecosystem. This is why we're so powerful. And mayors have the potential to really harness this geography.
If you're talking about where the money is, the healthcare budgets continue to grow. Seems like there would be opportunities in that space.
Enormous opportunity in the healthcare sector, not just, we tend to think of innovation in the healthcare sector as drug discovery or medical devices. The real innovation is in delivery and services, and health tech is going to be one of these incredible growth sectors of the US economy. And individual cities, every city basically is a center for eds and meds, could find a particular niche in the growth of that sector. You go where the money is. It's no different than Willie Sutton, right? The money's in healthcare. So there's enormous potential for this.
Yep. Broad comments. What mayors that are just stepping their toe into this, what should they do next if they want to have conversations?
I would say the first thing you would do is pull in your universities, your hospitals, your other major healthcare providers, some of your major employers, the financial institutions. Get everyone around the table, no more than 10 or 12 people, and basically say, well, where is this located? Yeah. What's our special advantage here? And how do we begin to leverage that so that 1 + 1 = 3, not 2? Yeah. And that's the possibility.
Can they contact Brookings, and if so, what would you be able to provide?
You know where I live, so absolutely contact Brookings, because what we want to show is that this is something that can apply to small and medium-sized cities in addition to, as you said, the Pittsburghs and the Louisvilles and the Oklahoma cities. There's enormous potential out there because of the way we built our cities. We tended to build them with downtowns and near downtowns where we located all these innovation assets. The economy is now leveraging that, and I think a lot of people in this room have enormous potential to grow a productive and inclusive economy.
I know you've been able to have relations with other nonprofits to kind of make this work. Whom do we need to thank along with Brookings for putting all this together?
I think the Project for Public Spaces, and many people in the room probably have dealt with this organization based out of New York, understands the power of quality placemaking. And so many of our citizens really want that town center again. Well, the town center with vibrant, vital gathering places actually is a piece now of the innovation process. So Project for Public Spaces is our close partner on this effort, and I think can knit together innovation and placemaking in ways that we haven't seen really in 100 years in the US.
Anything else I neglected to ask?
No, I just wanted to thank Mayor Fisher again and yourself, because working with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I think allows Brookings, frankly, to use our research to have impact. So thank you for this opportunity.
That toolkit that is on your table is a very valuable asset. If you only go home with one document from the U.S. Conference of Mayors, make that booklet your take-home booklet. And you might grab a couple others to pass out to other mayors in your region. It's a good guide not only for innovation districts, but you could just take out the innovation district and plant in other opportunities. It shows the way a mayor can make things happen much more broadly than the opportunities and the job description that you thought the day you were sworn in. Bruce Katz, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate Brookings and their relationship with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Back to Mayor Goodman.
Thank you. Could I ask a question? It's wonderful to be a chair of some committee. How about integrating apprentice programs of unions? Is there any connection there?
That's a great comment. Frankly, there's more of a connection there in the European innovation districts. We see close relationships with labor, and obviously they've developed apprenticeship programs in Germany in particular, but also in Britain to a much greater extent than we have. So I think as we go forward and really begin to tease out the maker space and the maker potential of these districts, connections with labor and connection to apprenticeship programs make a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Sure.
Free advice, I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor Cornett. Well, this is wonderful, and so we are wrapping up here, and I want to go over whatever other events are happening this morning. It is exactly 9:16, so you're late. At 9:15, there are two best practice forums, Imagining Future Cities Today, sponsored by Phillips Lighting, and Closing the Skill Gaps. Then Best Practices in Creating Pathways for Students to Successful and Rewarding Careers, sponsored by Strata Education Network with Stephanie, who's already run there. And then at 10:30, I'll see you again for our morning plenary. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for the breakfast.